Please sit back and relax and enjoy the Intermission Show with tonight's guests from Pittsburgh, PA, Jesse Wigg. Joining us from sunny Los Angeles, California, Nate Fox. And back with us here in Pittsburgh, Tracy Molyneaux. And finally, from somewhere in a fine residential community, this is the Intermission Show with your host, Joey Deasy.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Episode 5. 5 more episodes than I thought I was ever going to do. This has been so much fun. We've had unbelievable guests. And the train doesn't stop because we got a ton of great guests lined up for tonight. Do want to do a little recap. If you guys are new to the show, you're probably like, what is this guy doing? Show from his house? You're exactly right. I had actually all the equipment set up. A buddy of mine, DJ PDC, does stream every Friday. He DJs on. He asked me to be a guest. I'm a big technology guru, so I set up all the equipment. And it was so much fun. So we kept it going. It's been an absolute blast. Like I said, I get to do it from my house, get to hang out with some cool people. And I started the show. I just wanted to provide some entertainment for people that are at home during the quarantine. Bring awareness to businesses that are open and give some spotlight to businesses that are opening soon. Hopefully, the state of PA decides they want to open up. No politics on the show, but we got to open up the state. There's a lot of people that we got to get back to work. So really excited. Even for my own businesses, we brought back our staff for the first time this week. Just a small group of people to do some cleaning, just organization, a little bit of everything at Ace Axling and Escape from Pittsburgh at the Bank on 8th. So that's our update at the Bank on 8th. And you might be asking yourself, where did I get the name for the show? And the name came from this picture that's up on your screen now. It's from the Bytum Theater, which is downtown. And it's a headline, and in the light says, "This is just an intermission." And the photos by Dave DeCello, awesome photographer, well-known in Pittsburgh. And that's where I got the idea for the show. I mean, this phrase, the intermission, just hits perfect to what's going on right now. We kind of just hit pause on everything like an intermission, and we're just waiting to get back to the show. So that's what I'm doing here. We got the show, like I said, from my house. Give you a little behind-the-scenes tour. We got the guests queued up on this computer. I got all my cue cards in my note, prepared by executive producer Alicia Keys. Just kidding, I do all the notes myself. And I got all of the show running through my big computer here so I could cue all the audio, visual. So this is all in-house, and it wouldn't be a talk show without the lava lamp. So it's a good time here. We like to have fun. So enough about the show, enough about me. If you know me, I'll go on and on. I'll keep talking and talking, but the show's not about me. The show's about the guests. So without further ado, I would like to welcome my first guest of the show, Jesse Wigg. Jesse is co-owner of Lifespace Pittsburgh, a boutique real estate agency. He's also a developer for Atlas Estates, which he also owns, and he's known around town for rocking a bow tie at all occasions. Jesse, welcome to the show. How are you, my man?
Hey, I'm doing well, dude. How are you? Thanks.
I'm doing good. How are you hanging in there with kind of being on lockdown?
I'm all right. I'm all right. There's a lot of work I can get done from home, and now that we are able to do some stuff, get back at it, it's going well. I'm ready to get back into a full throttle, though, for sure.
Yeah, it was not nice to us construction guys.
No, not at all. Not at all.
So that's good. I'm glad, that's what I was kind of saying in the intro of my show. I'm hoping they open PA back up. We could get back to work, get our people back to work, more importantly. And it's a great segue into my next question. You're doing a lot of work in the Steel Valley area. What brought you to this region and what made you fall in love with the area?
Well, it's an interesting story why I'm here. Let's see. So I was living up in Erie, and I wanted to started getting involved in real estate. And I'm going to make a long story short, and decided that we needed to move to Pittsburgh. Well, I have a couple pit bulls, which they're a great breed. They have a bad reputation, but they're a great breed. Well, I was having trouble finding a place to rent because of that. And I had a buddy that had a house in West Homestead that was just sitting empty. And so he's like, yeah, man, it's a little rough, but you can move in there. So we moved in there. And that's how I ended up in this area. But I'm glad I did, because I really fell in love with this area for sure.
Yeah, was it obviously you got some ties here, with your dog. You're looking for a certain area, but did the houses, did the charm, the kind of history of the area, did that help at all too?
Well, to be honest with you, I mean, I found out about that stuff afterwards, and that's what kept me here. You know what I
So
mean?
you
And
got
that's
really
what
lucky.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. Yeah, yeah. But no, it's great, man. Once you're here and you're spending some time here, there's a lot of potential and there's a lot in the works. And so it was the easy decision for me to kind of, from an investment side, just jump in and start buying some properties and move forward with that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a great segue to our next question too. The houses that you work on, you could tell them. I'll be on different sites. I'll be on Zillow, whatever, Redfin, and you could tell. I was like, that's a Jesse Wig house. You have your own little flair. You have your own accents that you do. How did you develop your style when you did your renovations?
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I'm not really sure how it all came together. I mean, I love real estate, right? And I love, I want a condo downtown and a beach house and a house in the mountains. So like, I love multiple different styles. I think the only thing that I did know that like maybe helped create my style is that I think it's important as a real estate agent as well. I work with a lot of buyers and sellers, obviously, and I think it's important to have like wow features, I call them, or something that stands out, right? And so you can jump on trends with gray walls and white trim and white cabinetry or whatever it is, subway tile, but you really have to, in my opinion, add some flair and add some unique features that get people talking and get people excited about the home, because there's a lot of people doing renovations, flipping houses. You got to stand out. So I focused on trying to figure out a way to create some wow features in the home.
And I'm not saying this because I know you, but your homes stand out. And whoever does your photos, give them a raise.
Yeah.
They are awesome.
Yeah, she's great. Alexis, she lives here in Molyneaux as well, so she's a Steel Valley local. Yeah, she's
Nice.
great.
I got so I asked Jesse. I was like, "Can I, pull some pictures from your website?" He's like, "Yeah, no problem. I'll send you some." So he sends me over 3 full Dropbox folders, hundreds of photos, beautiful photos of houses. So I picked a couple. They're actually playing in the slideshow right now. And like I said, you have a distinct charm and style that you put on it, and I love it. And it's so cool that we get to show them on the air, and you just do awesome work. So I'm super proud of you. I'm super glad to be able to call you a friend. Speaking of, probably the first time I met you, probably at Duke's. I'm not sure exactly when I nailed it down, but when you're at Duke's, I was like, who is this goofy dude with a beard? And he's like the mayor. He knows everyone. You're shaking hands, you're kissing babies in Duke's. I'm like, wait, I grew up here. I know everyone here. Who is this cat? But it was so nice. It was so nice to meet you down there, and kind of continue our relationship. What are you currently working on?
Well, there's a lot. There's a lot in the works, man. I'm still doing a bunch of renovations on single family homes and small multi units. But the biggest thing that I'll jump into here is the old Bishop Boyle High School, which is now being called Bowtie High. Okay, I have 2 other partners on that. They're doing a killer job. We just started connected with an architect and getting things rolling. So we're going to be converting that into apartments. It's very preliminary stages, so I can tell you it's at least 30 apartments, 31, 32, maybe up to 34, I think. But yeah, we're at the beginning stages, but things are in the works, so I'm super excited about that. That's right there on 9th Ave, so I'm going to be 1 block up from you.
That's awesome, man. I'm so glad to be neighbors with you. I actually got a picture up of Bishop Boyle on the screen now. Shout out Bishop Boyle. Yeah. My mom went to school there, so I gotta give a shout out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I'm excited, man. It's really cool. I got connected with that building, and we're excited to convert it into apartments.
I'm just excited more buildings and homestead are coming to life, and I'm glad you're doing it, because it takes an army to renovate these old buildings. Trust me, I know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, you do. Yeah.
So, go on.
I'm sorry. Yeah, there's a lot in the works, man. There's a lot of people paying attention to this area. I had a lot of friends saying, "Man, you're drinking the Kool-Aid over there," but now there's a lot of other people that are getting involved. It's in the works for sure.
Jesse, I heard the same thing when we bought the bank. People looked at us like we had 10 heads, and they were like, "What are you going to do with all that space? It's in Homestead." They just kept on saying Homestead. I said, "Yeah, I know where it is. I grew up in Molyneaux. I know where it is."
Yeah, exactly.
The place sat vacant the whole time I was alive, and we brought it back to life. And honestly, we're running out of space. So we almost used up the whole 20 or 30,000 square feet. It takes people like you and me that are goofy and willing to take risks. And we're going to be the ones that are going to get it done, because the people that are the naysayers that say you're drinking the Kool-Aid, they're sitting on their butts right now doing nothing.
Exactly.
So that's so cool. Where do you see Homestead in 5 to 10 years?
Oh man, it's turning. There. If you're anyone that's familiar with Pittsburgh, I don't think, nor do I personally want it to be like a Lawrenceville. I mean, it's insane, right? The prices are through the roof. But I think that this area is absolutely transitioning. I mean, I know how much we're putting into it. I have a lot of different investors backing me. So like I have this inside scoop, right, of like how much we're going to be putting into and we're going to be doing. So I definitely think in 5 years, I mean, this area will be back to thriving. I know I wasn't around then, but at one point the Homestead area, right, way back in the day, was just a thriving area. So I don't even know if it's going to take 5 years, to be honest with you, to get this back to where it used to be.
That's exciting to hear from you. And like I said with my previous question, it's taking people like me and you that are going to do it. And I'm on the same train you are. I don't really want it to be a Lawrenceville. I want it to be Homestead.
For sure.
It was really cool back then. It has some great history. Obviously, both you and I love the old buildings. And it has this charm that, people with new construction just really aren't putting into. So
for sure.
It's fun to be a part of.
Absolutely.
And my final question of the night, if you were to give some advice to young guys starting in the home renovation business, what would be your advice?
Well, if you're talking about like buying and renovating, reselling or holding as rentals, like I really think step one, to get your real estate license. I mean, I'm an agent as well. Like I said, own Lifespace, and we have 17 or 18 agents, but it's very inexpensive to get your real estate license. You start surrounding yourself with a lot of people that are buying houses, selling houses, investing, man. You learn a lot just networking. And when you have your license, you're able to connect with people. And when you're in that field, it's just this spiral effect that you can get rolling, So I would say get your real estate license.
That's great advice. And honestly, that's probably one of the reasons why I met you. You're an awesome networker. You were just owning the bar at Duke's. So here we are.
For sure.
Well, Jesse, thank you so much for being on the show. Hopefully that was painless for you, and I can't wait to see what you do with Bowtie High, and hopefully work with you in the future. I'm ready to invest in Bowtie High. You let me know.
All right. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it.
All right, I appreciate you coming on the show, man. I'll check in with you.
Okay, talk to you later.
All right, we'll see you. Bye. Jesse is the absolute man. I'm so glad to be able to call him a friend. And he's one of those people that's he's a mover and a shaker. He's pushing the goalposts, and the projects he's worked on, from the pictures you saw, it's top-notch quality. You're not going to see better stuff in Pittsburgh. Great guy. I'm so excited he got the old Bishop Boyle High School, and I can't wait to see what he does with it. And he's just one of the dominoes in Homestead that's hopefully going to make it fall in the right direction. So great first guest. Next up, we got the legendary Nate Fox. I'm going to get him on the hotline, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. Thank you, guys. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back for guest number 2. I almost forgot about the most important thing at the beginning of our show. I had a big announcement to make. Not really my announcement, but it was a Pittsburgh announcement. I'm not sure if you guys saw the news, but they canceled the most important activity in the summer, Pittsburgh summer, the Kenny Chesney concert. I don't know what happened. The powers that be, they canceled the Kenny Chesney concert. I don't know how Pittsburgh's going to survive. So just wanted to share that news with you. It's a little lighthearted segue. But without further ado, we got our second guest. I'm so excited to have on our show. We have the legendary Nate Fox, Grammy Award-winning producer. Nate Fox is a producer who's worked with the likes of Dram, Big Sean, Kalani, Lil Wayne, and Chance the Rapper, to name a few. When he is not making music, he plays Fortnite with Blue Scholar, Slab Daddy, DJ Javo, and myself, and we are currently the best squad team in our own minds. Please welcome to the show, we have legendary Nate Fox. How are you, my man?
I'm great, man. It is an absolute thrill to be here.
How about that intro, man?
Wow. I can't believe they're not going to have the Kenny Chesney concert.
You know what? I had to let the people know, because I know some people don't watch the news, and, you're from outside of Pittsburgh. Kenny Chesney concert, it's a big deal to these Pittsburghers.
Yeah, well, I'm not even, I wouldn't put myself in the large country music fan base, but I do know that every year, especially in high school, there was two things that we absolutely did. It was go to the Kenny Chesney concert and go to the Dave Matthews concert.
You're
We didn't do those. We didn't do those two things, then we weren't doing anything.
Then you didn't have a summer.
We didn't have a summer.
Your experience is the same as mine. My friends did the same thing. They had two things: Dave Matthews at Post Gazette or whatever they decide to name it that year, and the Kenny Chesney concert. So
yeah, wait till they do the duo tour. Wait till they put them both together.
Pittsburgh would implode.
It's a wrap.
Done deal. I just think we came up with $1 million idea.
Yins would lose your mind.
Well, I'm so glad to have you on the show. Lengthy intro. You know, I don't want to be flexing. I don't want to say the names. But guess what? I did. There's nothing you can do to stop
I
it.
heard them.
You heard them.
Yeah, I heard you.
But more
Yeah,
importantly, there's one title. There's one title I forgot on there, other than professional Fortnite player. Backup dancer.
Wow, you know about that.
You know what? All my guests,
You
I
found
dig.
the footage.
I dig. You know, some people call me Nardwar. I just try to go by
You're
Joe.
inspired by, yeah.
Tell me the story. That's
yeah,
that's the Sunday Candy video.
Uh-huh.
I may or may not have it queued up right now.
Well, just so you know, it's not necessarily, or it wasn't necessarily, wasn't a choice.
Okay, tell me how this goes down. How do you get asked to be a backup dancer?
Well, at this time, the social experiment, we're toured pretty heavy, so we're pretty much living and staying together. So we were around for every and all idea, small or grandiose at the time. And the idea was kind of just presented to us as, this is what's going on. We're about to shoot a crazy video with our great friend, Austin Vesley. He's bringing in art students from colleges. Our good friend Ian Eastwood is going to do all the choreography. He's bringing in a bunch of his dancers. We're going to have a bunch of Chicago dancing legends come in. Oh, and by the way, you guys have to dance in it.
You didn't have a choice.
And we were like, well, you know, at that point, you're pulling out all the stops. How can I say no, you know? And plus, the concept was so cool and so fun, and it was something that was like, oh, I could show this to my grandma, I could show this to my little cousin, or you know what I mean? You could show it to anybody, and it feels good, and it's fun to watch. Everybody smiles when they watch it, so it was an easy thing to want to get a part of. But I will say, a future in dance, not for me. Not for me, not for Greg.
You had some moves, and it's so funny.
Your boy Nico though. He
was good. He's
got a little salsa in him. He's got a little spice to him.
I got the video playing. I watched it. I'm like cracking up the entire time, and you gave a perfect synopsis of it. The video's great. I'm a video tech guru. I love this stuff. Obviously, I got my own show out of my house in the Fortnite studio, and they did it in one take.
Well, yeah,
it looks like it.
It is one take. No, it is one take, but we shot it a bunch of times, like, you know what I mean? So we got the right take. So
you didn't nail it on the first one?
Click.
They don't even know about that.
That's a little bit of, that's some Hollywood magic there for you.
No, but awesome video. I'm so glad I found it digging through the archives, because I know when we were playing you mentioned something about dancing. So this is me all night last night digging for the video because I didn't remember the title.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's
that was it. It was a great experience. Everybody had a lot of fun, and I think the end product not only was a great representation of Chance and everybody's ideas, but also was just something that people could enjoy. So I thought everybody did a great job.
It was a great flick. Timeless, as the kids say.
Yeah. Nice.
So I want to get into when you want to work with an artist. How do you reach out? How do you start that relationship? Obviously, you hear the kids talking about sliding into DMs. Do you reach out to a manager? Do you try to send them, like, as a peace offering, some of your beats? How do you reach out to somebody that you want to work with?
Well, I think it's changed over the years. You know, at first it was just send as many beats, as many emails as I possibly could. get a little establishment going, and then it gets to, people start to reach out to you. And then at a certain point, it all changed. I felt like people stopped feeling like they could reach out to me.
Okay.
Or there was situations where I would reach out to people and they might not have thought it was me, because I'm not necessarily a person that goes after the big fish, if you will. I don't look for singles or Billboard songs or anything like that. If they happen, if they come, if those things, yeah, it happens. But, a lot of the time, never really the goal. I've always been more interested in working with new artists and finding people that I think are going to be around for a while and stuff like that. So when that's the case, normally I've already been listening to somebody's music, or somebody told me, hey, you should check this guy out, or yo, my homie, or, and then I'll just reach out directly. I try to avoid management and labels. If I don't have, or, I can't get contact with somebody, then yeah, I'll go that route. But I'll always try to just send a DM or a tweet or something to just say, hey man, or miss, I rock with you very heavy.
It's funny.
I'm interested in moving forward with our relationship. What?
You hit the nail on the head. That's saying the communication is always changing. Like when you started, you're just sending tapes out to everyone. Now it might be through, a DM or a tweet. And sometimes the best relationships, you and I, are just random. And sometimes they're the most organic. We talk about that all the time. Internet friends.
Well, let's keep this in mind too, Click. When we're talking about changes, we're not only talking about how things are sent or like how to get in contact, but how they're actually given to those people. So when I first started making beats, I had to give them a physical CD or a USB or something like that. You know what I mean? Because like MP3s, waves and stuff, it wasn't as easily back and forth. And not everybody even was on email like that. A lot of people were still just, let me get a CD.
Yeah. It's so interesting.
It was weird.
Take a step back and look and watch.
I'm like, hey, let me do this. Let me send you an email. And people are like, no, text it to me. They don't even want me to email.
Send me a MySpace DM.
Never that. Never that. That's huge cap.
Oh man. So you're out in LA now. You upgraded from the Berg. Sir. Outside of the Berg, bought a house.
Well, hold on now. I don't like that vocabulary. You said
listen, are you claiming Pittsburgh or are you outside of Pittsburgh?
I am born and raised a Pittsburgh native, sir. I will never claim anything other. I say this. Let me tell you this. I was born and raised in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Cleveland helped turn me into a real grinder worker.
You're not off to a good start. You said
Chicago
second.
Really,
okay.
Chicago has defined me as a man,
absolutely, as
an adult.
And this will be settled with one question: when you got your first cell phone number, what was the area code?
724.
To our millions of viewers out there, you know.
What do you mean?
Pittsburgh's 412, baby.
They wouldn't give us 412.
Are you serious?
We were too far out, yeah.
Oh,
the only person that I knew that had 412 was my dad because he worked in the city.
Yeah. It
was like a huge flex. It was a huge flex.
I got 412 number, no big deal.
Yeah, 412. It's not. Don't worry about it. And then he got that was the other thing he did. He got because his name spelled out was like whatever, however many digits. So it was like 412, his name.
That's cool.
Huge, that was his huge cool. Dad flex. Yeah. Like I know somebody at AT&T. I just pick my number like that.
That's awesome, man. I
didn't know until later. You pick whatever number you want. But
that's a dad flex. So how's LA now? Did you move out there, a career move, or is the weather just so much better?
Career move. Like I said, we were on tour for a while. And when we kind of ended the tour, Chance had got a little crib out here. And I was, since getting on the tour, I wasn't really living anywhere. I worked construction in Pittsburgh, and I actually lived where I worked at a nursing home. So I didn't actually have anywhere to live anyway. So I was like,
It's nice to settle down.
Let me just set up shop here. Sure, why not?
I'm so jealous.
I lived at Scarnes for the first couple months.
Oh man, you were everywhere then.
You know, it's good to have friends. I appreciate my friends very much. Blue Scholars picked me up from the airport.
Shout out
the
Blue
first
Scholar.
time we ever met in person.
We're planning a trip to come out.
I can't wait.
And you got to come to Pittsburgh and stay with us. You could stay like a night at my house, a night at Blue Scholar's house, sleep on Slab Dad's couch.
Well, we're working on getting me off the do not rent to list. Shout out to Peter Cottontail. So I gotta work on that.
Oh man.
And then I'll be able to move around.
So
that's a different story.
It sounds like you wrecked an apartment.
I'll tell you in the lobby.
I was gonna say that's an off camera, it's a PG show, but I definitely want to hear that story.
I'll tell you in the lobby.
So I want to transition a little bit. You know, when you're working in the studio, any artist, I want to talk about those light bulb moments. You're sitting there, maybe you hit a brick wall while you're working on a project, working on a record, and everyone's down and out. And maybe you make a mistake on the software, you just record something funky, and it flips the switch, and it just brings energy back to everyone. What is that like for you? And, give me any kind of story you got where, something happened by mistake and just boom, magic.
Well, I don't want to take on more responsibility than maybe I'm given, but I feel like as the years have progressed, that's become more and more my job. Maybe not necessarily to always be the person sparking the light bulb, but bringing in the right electrician, we'll say.
Great analogy.
And thanks. And for me, over the years, that circle has become tighter and tighter as far as, guaranteed. And those people are Francis Starlight, Nico Segal, Ben Lusher, Darius Scott, Peter Cottontail, and Knox Fortune. I can call any of those people at any time to come into, Carter Lang too. Any of those people I can call anytime, come into any session, guaranteed. Oh, your light bulb doesn't work? You got to
boom.
Boop. And to go into a specific, when a long time ago, we were working on an album called Surf that Sunday Candy was on. And we had a song called Just Wait. And we had it for a long time. And we were just stuck, couldn't figure it out. Francis Starlight came in one day, brought up one bass sound, laid a bass line.
Done.
Changed the whole album. Not just the song. It wasn't just the song. It gave us it gave us a perspective on how we could then approach the rest of the project. Oh, we're allowed to put this with this? I didn't even realize that. And he's one of those guys that every time he comes, he says, no, you can, there's no rules. You forget. Well, I'm just here to remind you that there's no rules. You could do whatever you want.
That was cool to see you tell that story, because I could tell the passion in your voice when he came in and dropped that bass. It just changed it. And even when you're shouting your boys out, the passion you have is so cool. I mean, I do my research. I had to have read 20, 30 articles on you, and you shout out.
That's cool.
Yeah, there is, dude. I go through the archives. And you shout out all of those same names on all the various projects you're on. So, I mean, you got your core group of guys, and you can just count on them. And it's so cool to hear that.
Because they're my friends. Those are my friends. It's just like us shouting out Blue and Scarn and Slab, and you know what I mean?
DJ Javo in the building.
Yeah, Javo, what's up? Happy belated again, man. That cake was tasty.
I'm so glad. In all of my notes, I didn't even put that down. I got a segue for this story. So we play Xbox. We play Fortnite. No big deal. Sure. We beat up on 12-year-old kids in Fortnite. No big deal. We're good.
Sometimes.
And the one night we're playing late at night, and I'm saying I'm hungry. My man Nate Fox orders me food from LA. Uber Eats it to my house. I order him a pizza. Uber Eats a pizza to him. We're just internet friends.
Good. It was good. It was a barbecue chicken pizza.
The food was on point. It's Javo's birthday, Tuesday this week. I wake up, see my Instagram story. My man brought him a cake from LA.
Cake, baby. Ice cream cake.
I mean,
Ice cream cookie cake.
we don't need to flex on the names you work with. We need to flex on the ice cream cake that you're buying to Javo.
That's my fucking guy, bro. For real, bro. It's crazy because I remember growing up, how adamant our parents were about spending time away from video games.
Yeah.
That there was literally no value in video games at all. And as we've gone through life, the value of being a gamer has just consistently gone up until we see like 13-year-old kids winning $3 million in a Fortnite tournament. So that's what I'm saying, bro. We're creating friendships like it's just the way of the world in 2020. We're not.
Just like you said with the CDs, it's another means of communication.
Yeah.
We're just with the times. I mean, I would argue we're ahead of the times.
I can't. We're men of the future. We're men of the future.
Renaissance men.
Renaissance men. There you go. There you are.
Oh man. So you don't know the next segment I'm about to do?
I don't. No.
Are you nervous?
No.
So we do a little segment on the show. I know you're an avid viewer. We got 5 episodes now. No big deal. I try to do a little segment with every guest. If you are familiar with the Hot Ones, with I believe it's Sean Evans, another great interviewer.
Yeah.
Look up to him.
Great interviewer. Yeah.
Unbelievable. He does an Instagram deep dive. He goes through their Instagram, pulls a photo out, and lets the other
Ask
person
you to
explain.
Yeah.
So I didn't send this to you. I typically do. I'm going to see if you even remember it.
Sure.
So I'm going to throw it up on the screen right now. We call Throwback Thursday. It's Thursday. It is.
I can't see it.
It's not.
I can't see it.
It's not. It's not on your screen. I'm going to have to describe it to you. We're going to see if you remember
Okay.
it. Let me set the year. 2012.
It's from my Instagram?
It's from your Instagram.
Okay.
It's from 2012.
Uh-huh.
You're in the rafters at a Juicy J concert.
Yeah.
Well, first off, how are you in the rafters? Two, what are you doing there? Set the scene. Tell me the story.
Okay. This is in Cleveland, Ohio. And when I was in Cleveland, Ohio, we had a little group of artists that all worked together, including my son, Trap Money Benny, another homie, Banky Travolta from Cleveland, and my homie Tezo, who was also from Cleveland. And at the time, we had a pretty big song going called Dinner Date with a great friend of ours who was murdered by the Cleveland police. His name was Ken Ball. Please, at any time, do some research on that because it's a pretty fucked up situation. And he was a really, really good guy who had a lot of potential. And anyway, so we had a big song on the radio. And so radio shows always host these where they bring in artists,
summer jams, all that stuff.
At the time, Juicy J was back on the rise. I don't know if you remember that.
I remember this because I shot video at a Juicy J concert in Pittsburgh in Club Zoo, and I think he had to join out with Katy Perry. He was riding.
Yes. It was about
high.
the same time Mac was really starting to take off, right?
Yes,
so
I remember this.
Mac, because I feel like Mac had done a show in Pittsburgh with him too. There was a whole thing where Juicy J was going around to every city. He was doing concerts with big rappers.
He was on every show. He was forging relationships with Taylor Gang. I remember all this like it was yesterday, and just popping out at every show.
So this is what? 2010, 2011, 2012.
Yep, 2012.
Just about right before everything with Chance started happening with me, and we started working on acid rap and all that stuff. This is all about that same time. But Tez was opening up for Juicy J.
Cool.
So we were, I guess, artists. So we had the artist wristband vibe. But this was the first time that we had ever been a part of that type of situation.
Without knowing the story, that's why I picked this photo. Because your Instagram's normal when you start, and this is your first show photo. I'm this has to be a good story. He's hanging out in the rafters. Yeah. I want to hear this story.
Yeah, no, I didn't even get to meet Juicy J. There was so much blunt smoking and liquor and just people trying to talk to him and give him hey dog, wear my t-shirt on stage type shit.
Check out my CD.
Yeah, listen to my mixtape. It was like that.
Yeah,
I
know.
Like that. And to be fair, it remained like that all through the Chance stuff and everything anyway. So I guess that's just what it's like. But either way,
Oh,
it was
man.
not. It was a lot to take in for sure.
Yeah.
So I don't, honestly, like, what happened that night, remember very little, but I do remember why we were there
That's all that
because we
remains
had
is the photo
yeah.
from the rafters.
The song's called Dinner Date. Go stream.
I'm gonna go
Dinner
check it
Date
out.
by
I'm gonna go check it
Tezzo.
out.
Yeah.
I've
It's a
already,
smack.
I've already
Me
like,
and Benny produced it.
I've already boosted your like Spotify like by 1,000 plays because I had to go through all the archives the last couple days.
That's good. I don't think I even have anything on my Spotify, so thank you.
Without further ado, you were an awesome
Yeah.
guest. This was
Thank you. Thank you
this
so
was
much.
a blast, man. I
Click,
can't
you're
wait
a
to see you
superstar.
in real life and come out to hopefully LA. You come to Pittsburgh.
Just please, when you have the late night show on NBC, CBS, whatever, ABC, have me back on. Have me back on one time.
Absolutely,
For old time's
man.
sake. That's what we'll say. We'll say for old time's sake.
Absolutely, man. You know, I'll have you on. And obviously, shout out to the Fortnite boys for helping me put this together. Final question of the night:
sir.
Where are we dropping?
Craggy. Gotta go home, baby. Gotta go home.
Craggy, I love it. Nate, you're an absolute legend. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I'll be playing with you later, and we'll
Yes,
catch up
you're a
with
dream
you.
come true, baby.
Sounds good, big dog. I'll talk to you.
Yeah. I'll see you later. Peace.
I'll see you, man. Wow. That's all I got to say about that interview. Wow. It was really cool. Nate's such a good guy. Get to play Xbox with him and becoming real life friends with him. So, like I said, I can't wait to see him out in LA or when he's back in Pittsburgh. If you don't know who he is, Google him. Great guy, great friend, crazy dude in the industry, and honestly has some really good records out. So make sure you check him out. Without further ado, we got our third guest of the night. We got Tracy from Carson City Saloon coming up. I'm going to get her on the hotline. So just give me a few minutes and we will be right back. So thank you, and we will be right back. And we're back. Episode 5, the Intermission Show. 2 phenomenal guests already out of the gate. Another legendary guest coming up now. It's so funny. Every guest that I have on the show, people ask why I play that commercial, that 5-minute little segment in between. It's because I have to call them on FaceTime or Zoom or Skype and get them ready. Almost every single person on this show is working very hard doing something. For example, Jesse's like closing deals, buying real estate. He's like, Joe, I know we got 2 minutes left. Can I send some text real quick? He's firing out texts. We got my man Nate Fox. I'm about to go live to him. He's like, I got people on the line. He's closing deals, making record deals. I don't even know what he's doing. And our final guest, Tracy, she's running around. She just got done flipping tacos. This lady doesn't sleep. All of our guests, phenomenal people. So without further ado, I want to welcome our final guest of the night, Tracy Molyneaux. Tracy is one of the managers of the legendary Carson City Saloon in Southside and owner of Coughlin's Law and T&T Cantina in Mount Washington. Tracy, welcome to the show. How are you?
Happy to be here.
It's nice to see your face.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Obviously, everything's closed. I don't get to stumble into Carson City and say what's up. And we got to do this virtually.
Yes, it's very sad. I miss you.
I miss you guys. I miss the whole Carson City family. Shout out Blue Scholar. He's kind of like the linchpin to my last 2 guests. Nicholas McCumber, I guess is his real name. I know him as Blue Scholar.
I got to see him today, actually. Isn't that fun?
I saw. Did he come up and get tacos?
He came up to visit me today.
That's cool. So yeah, that's a great. What's going on with the T&T Cantina? Tell me what's going on.
So we just started. It's been about 2 weeks on Friday. Will be 2 weeks. We just, started opening up the Cantina for takeout, and it's been going pretty good. It's nice to see it all, like, everyone that's come to visit has been super awesome, just to see some regulars and see some smiling faces, And I don't know if you heard about Wolf passing the law today, so we got some frozen margaritas going literally this afternoon, which was awesome. So cheers to that.
Hey, cheers to that. So that's so funny, and that's a great topic to talk about. I got the email because we have the liquor license at the bank as well, and we had heard rumors that you might be able to sell drinks to go, and by drinks to go, liquor in a mixed drink, like you're doing with a margarita. Before, people don't realize it was only beer and wine to go. Wine if you had that permit.
Correct.
So what can you do now?
So now, according to the law, you can sell any cocktails that are under 32 ounces, but it has to be a mixed cocktail. So it has to be like like a craft cocktail, or it could be like even like a rum and coke, which sounds silly. I don't know why someone would buy a rum and coke to go, but it could be any kind of cocktail under 32 ounces, and but it has to be a mixed drink. And then if you're taking it, it has to be in your trunk of your car. And there's a couple little other little rules about it, but it has to be in a sealed container. So we've been just putting them with like a lid on it that doesn't have like a straw hole or whatever. So it encourages people to take it home with them instead of just, walking the streets.
And it's so funny because I've been to states where you can buy, like the margaritas to go or mixed drinks.
Oh, for sure. And just like run around.
There's states all around the United States that allow it to happen. I told people, I'm like, this happens. They're like, no, you can't get a margarita to go. I'm like, I didn't come up with this. It exists.
No.
I've even seen some of the places they'll put a straw in and they won't take the paper off. So, I mean, there's all kind of loopholes for every state, but PA is notoriously behind the times. So I'm glad.
But as of like 2 p.m. today, it was very exciting.
I know. I'm glad. So you got the TNT Cantina going. You're slinging some tacos up there. I love tacos, so I will definitely be up there soon. Tell me a little bit about your story. You started at Carson City, rose to the ranks of manager, and now you own your own spot. So give me some of the backstory.
So it's kind of all over the board. I started in the business technically when I was I think I was 12 when I started. I was working at a bingo selling like coffee and, like 50-cent coffees and hard pretzels to like the old bingo ladies that were at my church. And then after that, I started at the Pickle Barrel in Southside that was on 13th Street. So it's a block from Carson City. And all of the owners of Carson City, Brian and Frank, that are with me today, they used to come and get breakfast at Pickle Barrel. So they basically, met me there, and we were, goofing around and everything. They kind of coached me from there. I was 23, and, so I started working with them the day that Carson City opened in 2006, and was a waitress 2 nights a week, and just kind of, at the beer tub and selling shots and little things like that. And then, as more time went on, I got promoted to bartending, and then I started there full time, and then I became a manager. And then we opened Coughlin together we're on 2 years now, just happened 2 years in April. So we're, kind of full steam ahead. But yeah, it's been such like an adventure. And I honestly couldn't imagine doing it with a better group of people. They're like my family. So
it does seem like you guys have the Carson City and Coughlin's family. It's so cool to see how you guys interact. It is a true family. I don't know if anyone ever told you this, but you're a hustler. You are a straight up hustler. And Drake has a song about you. Started from the bottom, now you're here.
Yeah, thank you.
That's so cool. It's been awesome to watch. Obviously, I lived in Southside. I frequent those places a lot. I don't live there anymore, but I was at Carson City a lot. Fun fact, I even had my first adult beverage legally with my dad there at Carson City Saloon. No, legally, I was there. Nobody was old enough. All my friends, I'm the oldest of all my friends. So I call my dad up. I'm like, yeah, right? I call my dad up. I'm like, hey, Dad, you want to go get a drink in Southside? He's like, not really. But
oh yes, you do. Let's go.
He came down. I dragged him to Carson City, and that's where I had my first drink. So
that's awesome.
So Carson City, we keep on talking about it. I got some pictures playing on the slideshow of Carson City, all the goofy things you guys do there. But I would say what you guys are most known for is the legendary game day celebrations. I know a few that I've been to, the World Cup. It was like a game that started at like 9 or 10 a.m. You guys let us in early. We weren't allowed to drink.
Things got real hairy, real fast.
You let us in, and we because in PA, we got these goofy liquor laws. You're not allowed to start drinking till whatever. So let's say it's 11. I think you let us in at 10. 11 o'clock hit. I think you rang a bell, and you were allowed to serve drinks. People were cheering.
Somebody stood on the bar and just said, "Let's go."
So that is a legendary game day celebration that sticks out to me. What's one that sticks out to you?
So I was actually at Carson City for all 3 cups since we've been open. So 2009, 2016, and 2017, I was at Carson City. So 2009 was fun. I ended up getting done early that day. I hopped the bar and was actually drinking at Carson City that day. So that was like, it was cool. But when I was working, my favorite one was when it was Penn's Nashville. I was up on the roof with Nick, to be funny. We were, I think it was between the first and the second, or it might have been the second and third, I can't remember, but somebody played on the jukebox, and I remember it's June, so somebody played on the jukebox, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, and I'm saying there was easily, 150 plus people on the roof. Every single person was singing at the top of their lungs. It was so amazing. Like, I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it because it was so amazing. Because I'm pretty sure we were up at this point in the game, and everyone just screaming it. And I'm like, oh my God, like this is where I get to be right now in this moment. Like, this will never happen again, like ever in my life. This will never happen. So, and then we ended up winning, and it was like, it's all chaos. There was points where, like, I think we lost 4 tables downstairs because of people standing on them.
Classic.
I thought the rooftop bar was going to collapse because there were so many people on the bar, like throwing their beers. And I was like getting to the point where, like, I was looking around like, oh man, like we need to get everybody out of here because this is like, we're going to break the whole place. Like, we got to get out of here, So, and then like after everyone's gone, we get to have that moment as a staff where we're all together and like get to have a drink and like have a hug and like, it's like, yes, so we're here and we all made it and, we won. So. Yeah,
that's so funny. That's such an iconic Pittsburgh moment. Singing a Christmas song in July.
June.
Oh my gosh, that's too funny. Which I feel like all of my guests have, like, they've been queuing up the next question like a tee box for me. You guys are known worldwide for your Christmas decorations.
Yes.
Let me tell you my story of your Christmas decorations, and then I want you to fill in the stories. So at the bank, we got our liquor license, and I'd always get on to Carson City. I'm like, these guys are nuts, because one day there wouldn't be decorations, the next day there would be decorations. It was like Disney. They had like little elves working overnight. Boom. So I asked Nick, I'm like, Nick, how do you guys do this? Like, there has to be a team of you putting all the lights together. Who's the ringleader? He goes, just talk to Tracy. So I think I did reach out to you, and we did our take on it at the bank. We decorated, and I'll never forget this. I'm like, Nick, how do you get the people to come in, and how do you direct them? And he said, Tracy just says, make it look like Christmas threw up here.
Yes.
And that's exactly what I did with my guests, or excuse me, with my staff, and how we decorated the bank. Yeah. So tell me, how did this Christmas decoration started?
So I'm pretty sure that it was the original time was Brian's dad, like Brian and Frank's dad, Bird, that had the idea, and then we kind of brought it to life. And the very first year, we had one blow up that was hung from the ceiling, and then after that, we've got a blow up ever since, like every year after.
Every year you get a blow up.
We get another blow up. So I think now we have 5 that are hanging up on the rafters. Well, because like then somebody will see like a Grinch and they'll like buy it and say like, hey, we're gonna bring this to the bar. And after the first year, once we kind of like figured out like, okay, this is what we need to do. The first year it took forever. I'm talking, we were there for like 12 hours. Like, it took so long. And because we were like, the first time you're doing it, you're trying to like work it out. Like, okay, so do we wrap the walls? Like, what do we do? Like, you're trying to like, work out the kinks. But then it keeps getting smoother, and people keep coming up with other random ideas. Like, a lot of our staff, they're very involved. They're like, hey, what if we do this? What if we do that? Like, I'm pretty sure it was a staff member that came up with doing like the Halloween bar that we did last year. Yeah. And we were just like talking about it, like, oh, that'd be so cool if we made it like spooky. Like, okay, like, we kind of figured it out. But the Christmas is so fun. I wish we could keep it up all year round. I mean, obviously it would get old really fast, and our electric bill would be like $1 billion. But
it's iconic, and you guys even made, I think, one of the top 10 Christmas bars in Pittsburgh or whatever. I was like Googling, I do my research on all the guests, and I was like, no way they got like a top 10 Christmas bar in Pittsburgh. So
yeah, I think because when people walk upstairs, they're like not ready for it to be like as aggressive as it is. You don't even have to turn the lights on in the building because it's so bright. Where it's like, Jesus, like you don't even turn the lights on downstairs. It's just you can see from across the street. Like Yeah, it's sweet. It's so fun though. It's such a fun day. And you know how you get them to come? You offer them pizza and booze. Is how you get them to come.
I did exactly that. I didn't want to say it on air, but guess what? We did it, and our staff loved it.
Pizza and booze. All you
It's
have
a simple transaction. I'll feed you, provide drinks, Christmas everywhere.
Come on, just let's go.
So I was preparing for this. Like I said, I do research days on days. I call your grade school teachers. I call friends from your childhood.
Yeah.
And, I did have a question that I didn't want to bring up, but, we're at the end of our show. You're having a cocktail. We gotta talk about it. This was sent in from a guest. And all the notes are, it says, backstage at an ICP concert.
Nick's going to get punched in the face.
I don't know who sent it in, but it's on my notes.
That's private. That's private.
This is a first for the Intermission show that we, one, took guest questions, and two, were shut down live on air. All right, so I'll get that story out of you one of these nights.
Unbelievable.
So we're getting close to the end of our interview. We end with a little rapid fire questions. They're all pretty PG, and then I'll let you off the hook. So are you ready for this, Tracy?
Lay it on me.
Rapid fire.
No more ICP stuff, young man. That's private. That was a long time ago.
I have no idea what it's about. So now I'm intrigued even more. All right. So rapid fire questions. Travel anywhere in the world.
Oh, new place would be, shoot, I can't even think of what it's called. Well, I've been to Bora Bora for my honeymoon, and it was the best place ever. I would go there again for sure. And we want to do big waves in Hawaii someday, and I definitely want to get over to Australia because I feel like it would just be sweet.
Awesome choices. Favorite question you get asked when bartending?
What's on special?
Favorite shot?
Oh, currently, I've been doing white gummy bears, but that was like when we were open RP.
Yeah.
And if like Bree and some of the other Carson staffs around, we seem to be always doing tequila, and yeah, it just kind of goes in waves,
Nick had a different shot, which we won't say on air.
Nope, that's not
we won't say that on air.
Private.
Last question. This is a crowd favorite. Who's your favorite bartender?
Whoa, that's rude. I can't even tell you, for real. I've been so blessed. Oh, I'm talking, this is since 2006 that I've been behind the bar. So many people have come and gone in my life in that window of time, and I'm so blessed. I'm friends with them still to this day that I haven't seen in years. They can text me out of the blue. One of my, his name's Steve. He lives in California. I haven't seen him.
Shout out, Steve.
Shout out. Woo. I haven't seen him for I saw him over Christmas. He came home for Christmas, and then I don't see him for months. And then he'll call me out of the blue because he heard a song from Carson City on his phone and will sing it to me on his phone and leave a message. I've seriously been so blessed. I can't pick one. There's thousands.
I had to put a hot seat question on there, and I think you nailed it perfectly. And you said it earlier in the interview. The Carson City and even the Coughlins, you guys are a family, and it's so cool to hear Nick talk about you guys. I obviously love patronizing your guys' places. I feel like I've been welcomed into the community. You guys are just absolute awesome. So I can't thank you enough. Thanks for coming on the show. We kept it easy on you. Yeah,
I guess so.
Take the night off. You're literally one of the hardest working people in the service industry I know. So I'm glad you took time out of your day to come on my goofy show, and it's been so much fun. So hopefully I get to see you soon.
Yes, I hope so too.
All right, Tracy. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you later.
I'm gonna smack Nick in the face. By the way,
my hands are up. He said if I didn't ask it, he said you're dead to me.
Unbelievable. He is the worst human being. They They bust my balls about that at Carson City non-fucking stop. I was like 17 years old when that happened.
I don't know what it's about. This is a PG show, Tracy. I don't know why you're trying to tell stories on my show.
I didn't do that. You started it.
I can't thank you enough. Don't work too hard. Enjoy your beverage. And like I said, hopefully I get to see you soon.
Bye, babe.
All right, we'll see you. Wow. I'm grinning from ear to ear. This is my favorite show. I mean, we've had great guests. They're all my favorite show. But I've been cracking up this entire time. I use the word all the time, and I get yelled at from my little sister, Bridget. We have legends on the show. You have prerequisite, you have to be a legend. And everyone's hard workers. I'm not joking. Everyone's been busy. Right before I cut to them, they're like hammering out deals. Sorry for the swear words. It is a PG show. But you know what? ABC hasn't picked me up yet. I did see their email come through. They want to pick me up. I think Jimmy Fallon's done. And I'll gladly take that spot. But it's been so much fun. It's a great break of the week for me. It's something to do. Thank you for everyone tuning in. I'm sure we got some people in the chat that I got to give a shout out to. So I don't ever do this at the end, but I'm having fun with this episode. So if you're watching, say hello. I'll give you a little shout out. Let me pull it up right now and see what people are doing. All right, who do we got in the chat? DJ Javo. Obviously, shout out to him every single week. Javo does my intro, the VO, the voiceover for it at the beginning. So we throw a little picture up of all the guests. He does the mouse or the voiceover, and I put it together in Premiere. DJ PDC, probably my number one fan. Thanks for joining us in the chat. I probably wouldn't have been here without DJ PDC. He got me all set up when both me, him, and TJ put all of our minds together. We set up the cameras, working on Pete's show. He does a weekly show on Friday. I believe he's taken this week off. Every week with him has just been getting better and better with the visuals and the software. We use OBS software for the live view stream. Nick Hordov, all the way from Penn State. He drove up there to check on our Escape from Penn State location. Tell Nate Fox to box fight me. I don't think he's going to box fight you. I think he's scared. I think you ruined him. Shout out to my mom, Carol DC in the chat, Marissa McGraw, and Nick McCumber, who got me in trouble tonight. Shout out to Nick. Mac, Medium. Oh, love Michael Scarn in the chat. Okay, I see you. Hey, hop on tonight. We're going to have some fun. We always do a little recap on Fortnite stream after and just kind of hang out. Guys being dudes. DJ Javo, that's the truth. Shout out to Javo. It's his birthday on Tuesday. Just all around, so much fun. Pioneers. DJ PDC, we're working on all this. He would just text me like 3 a.m. saying we're pioneers. The software is free, but I can't tell you how much time we have. Literal days working in the software, making everything work, having the multi-angles, doing the visuals, putting the memes up. Especially mine, I got to FaceTime and Skype and bringing that over with a capture card. There's a lot going on behind the scenes, so if it looks like I'm doing a lot back here, it's because I am. There's a lot going on back here, but it's fun. I wouldn't have it any other way, and we'll see what this turns into the next couple days. I think that's going to be it. That's a wrap for the chat. Thanks for everyone sticking around. It was a really good time, and can't wait till next week. We will announce, and by we, me, I will announce the guests next week. We got some cool people that I reached out to, and we'll see if their schedule permits. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Episode 5. That's a wrap. Thank you guys.